What's up, guys? Welcome to week number 3 of my full body training program that I'm following from Tony Harris. This is the week of 4th of July, so this is 4th of July morning. We all came in early on Monday morning to get our training in for the day before kind of enjoying the rest of the day off with the family. And so what you'll be seeing here is a 5x5 squats with 375s. Everything moved pretty well, but I was having some hip shifting issues, or actually in my case shoulder shifting issues. I think I had some lingering fatigue in through my spinal erectors, and the shoulder was just a bit tight. So you can see that one right side starting to dip down again. So we were kind of policing that. I ended up rolling out the trap on the left side and doing a little bit of lat activation to help get that elbow down into a better position, which did definitely help over the course of the sets. But these just still weren't quite as balanced as they were the week before, and it affected my ability to figure out where I'm kind of dropping into. But regardless of all of that, the weight still moved pretty well, all considering, so I didn't really take too much offense there because everything still moved well. I just knew I had some tissue work I needed to do over the course of the week. So now being a week later, I was able to clear that up and had a really good session yesterday. So hit all 5 sets of 5 at 375. Ended up following it with, I just did straight sets with 240 on the good mornings. I did 3 sets of 8 rather than trying to push up past the 260 or 70 that I did last week. I was just pretty fatigued. I was pretty tired after the squatting on this session, and just kind of basically did my best to hold everything together throughout the rest of the workout, and was able to do so. But I was pretty smoked after the squats and good morning. So hit all 4 sets of 8 on bench press on this day with 265 this week. It's all feeling really consistent, but I do feel like my second set was probably the best. I stayed the most locked in, and one of the cues that I've been focusing on for the last couple sessions here is, rather than trying to pay attention to the lats, which I kind of let go of when I brought the grip out and was focusing on not tucking the elbows. But what I'm actually cueing now more so is remembering to retract the shoulder blades, and so I'm paying more attention to what I'm doing with my traps than what I'm doing with the lats, and that seems to definitely create some extra stability, particularly with that wider grip, since I'm not kind of cheating tightness by tucking the elbows quite so much and then heaving it off my chest. So that, I feel, has become a lot smoother, and I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with that new technique change, and I'm pretty sure that I should be able to beat my current bench max by the time I get up into the higher percentage range. So it's pretty exciting, and I have had no pec or shoulder or any kind of pain since switching over to that grip, which is always nice, since half the inconsistency in my bench has come from not being able to train it consistently for long enough to make any good progress. So that's nice. So that brings us to this day here. This is day 2 with the box squats. I was having some weird feelings in through my right or my left glute. Just kind of almost weakness and tightness. I sorted it out by keeping a little bit more of a neutral head position, so you'll see over the course of these sets here, it almost looks like I'm looking down, but I'm just really focusing on sitting back into the hips, and that actually cleared up all of the wobbliness that I was having on some of the warm-ups. I actually ended up missing my first rep with 300. I got to the bottom of the box and loosened everything up and got stuck and had to just kind of wiggle myself into a closer stance and good morning the weight up. So definitely glad I was able to clean that up, because that felt a little shitty, and I was kind of taken aback by missing a rep with 300 pounds, but came back and hit all 6 prescribed doubles with 300, and then was able to work my walking lunges up to 100 pounds for 4 sets of 8, or the 4th set of 4 of 8. So that's really good, considering I started off with a 15-pound kettlebell about 2 months ago. Nice to finally be able to do some work with those. So worked the close grip, hit the same 4 sets of 6 with 265 that I did with regular grip on Monday. Was having a little bit of tightness into the shoulder, so I didn't quite bring the bar all the way down to the chest. I attribute that mostly to having to do a self lift off, and I wasn't able to get quite as tight. So hit all those sets. That was pretty straightforward, and then was able to hit a pretty good PR on the overhead press here of 185 for a set of 7. Got a little bit out of position, and I feel like I could have done the 8th one had I stayed tight on that rep right there. So either way, that's a rep PR for me at that weight. I then dropped back down and hit the remaining 3 sets of 8 with 155. Next week I'm going to try and take, because I believe it drops to 6s, try and take something closer to 200 for 6, and then drop down to something in the 165-ish range, and continue to drive that up. So it's nice to see my overhead press is still continuing to rise after having hit that 250 I think 4 or 5 weeks ago. So that brings us to the final day of the week. I actually was in a wedding the day before this training session, and that affected my eating for that whole day. Basically, I didn't eat anywhere near enough food. I kind of came out of that day with about maybe 1,300 calories that I'd taken in and not enough fluids. And while everything felt okay during the warm-ups and the front squats moved well, I gassed out really quickly on these deadlifts. I still finished all 5 sets of 5 with 450, but the pop just wasn't there, and I ended up having to take a pretty good amount of time between each of these sessions, or between each of these sets, just to kind of bring myself back to life. And then I wasn't able to pull any of the rack pulls. I actually missed a 315 shrug just because I couldn't pull it off of the blocks. So I decided to shut it down. We still hit our incline bench work. I think my top set was something like 235 or 245 for 6. So something not impressive, but was just gassed, which goes to show you how important paying attention to your nutrition and your hydration are if you plan to actually be able to complete all of your work you need to get stronger. So pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it and subscribe to my channel. As always, be sure to connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, carrier pigeon. You can stalk me. I'm not playing the Pokemon shit that everyone else is doing, so I'm not on there. And check out the gym's website at www.savagegym.com. Alright, take care.